Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another batch of new comic book reviews. Once again, as I said before, I'm a little bit behind, but I'm catching up. A lot of books to do today. I've got 5 this time around. Gonna talk about Suicide Squad issue number 1 from DC Comics. We've got, what else? Oh, Shang Chi, the end of that particular mini-series from Marvel. Nocterra, Scott Snyder's independent comic book, and talk about that one, as well as Amazing Spider-Man, and I do believe Year Zero, Part 2, issue something or other. So anyway, hang out, kick back, relax, let's get this party started, and I hope you enjoy. All right, and as I said, we're going to start off with Suicide Squad number 1. I got to tell you, there is no bad comic book cover here. This is a striking image in itself. If you like the trade dress, I got the cover B. Not going to be doing this for very much longer, but I still thought this was a cool and striking image as well. So this really kind of, in my opinion, brings the Suicide Squad to what it should be. For a while, you get used to the same cast of characters in a comic book, and I don't think you really should for the Suicide Squad. Of course, that has DC. Are you really willing to kill off the characters as much as you say you are going to? And let's face it, if they're not blowing up a head or two every so often, Suicide Squad with Amanda Waller and all that kind of stuff loses its edge. Here, Amanda Waller, I don't know, she comes off as much of a bad guy as a good guy, and I don't hate that. So the whole thing is they've got a mission to break into Arkham Asylum. In all honesty, it's the Film Freak that's helping them get in and helping them navigate, and they have to free one of the patients. And it's an interesting mission. It's an interesting bit of dialogue as you're going through it as well. I enjoyed this. I actually like this book. I liked it definitely better than the incarnation that came before it. Even though I did like that one as well, this one just, it seemed to be more on point. The other one was, oh, we want to introduce to you a new cast of characters, a new bunch of teens that maybe we could make some money off later. But this is what it really should be, in my opinion. It should be a dangerous book. Not to you, of course. But you should feel like everybody involved is just one step away from being killed, much like this young gentleman here. That's the way it should be, in my opinion. And that's what's delivered. Dialogue's great. Art, as you can see, is very good here as well. And in all honesty, man, drop the price, and I'm willing to go. Or keep the price low is all I'm saying. I want to read Suicide Squad. Okie dokie, next up, we got to talk about Shang Chi. Now, this is issue number 5 of the, I don't know if they planned it to be a miniseries, but hey, it turned out to be a 5-issue miniseries. The only, and I can't read, who was it? Jean Lun Yang is the writer, Dyke Rowan is the artist there. As you could tell, it's a good-looking book. It really is. Shang-Chi's sister comes into town to cause all sorts of higgledy-piggledy, and Shang-Chi and his 2 followers decide they're going to show up and break it up. Now, well, I guess it's more than 2 followers. Anyway, point being is you get yourself a big old street brawl where we find out that his sister can actually control Shang-Chi until they find out that really the big bad behind it, spoiler alert, by the way, considering this is issue number 5. You know what? Never mind. Anyway, it's pretty good. It's a better build-up, in all honesty, than the last issue. I could still recommend the whole series to you. Obviously, I won't go, hey, you should buy issue number 5, not number 4, 3, 2, 1. It ends up being a good series, a good mini-series that I could recommend. I would suggest you find it trade paperback. You could probably find these issues around somewhere. Not very expensive. Auctions, maybe something like that. So anyway, but it's fun. It's entertaining. It looks good. It's got some great kung fu action. And it's a very typical story, though. It's not gonna wreck your brain. This is not one. It's not The Watchmen. It's not V for Vendetta, where you're actually gonna have to think about everything afterwards. It's a very straightforward told story, and you know what? I kind of enjoyed that. I liked it. I like a good kung fu story. Give me so far, Shang-Chi and Iron Fist are both 2 series that I like. So there you go. I don't know if there's anything else I could say for her. Let's go on to the next book. Year Zero, issue number Year Zero, volume 2, issue number 3. I gotta tell you, I did not like the first issue, but man, since it's been pretty darn good. It's been going. You have the Norwegian family. I think they're Norwegian. I don't know. Anyway, they find a boat, and the father is very weary, but the kids are like, "Hey, we could probably find the food we need. Let's go there, Daddy." And he convinces them, so they do. And then it breaks off into. They always open up with just a little bit. They're gonna get back to the Norwegian family, but then they go off to the cartel, where basically you have a brother and a sister. His sister's one of the drug lords' concubine, I guess. And they're trying to make their escape. That's the storyline for them. And at this point, the drug cartel lord, the drug lord is showing that his sister is in a panther pit because she messed up. And then you've got the doctor in Kenya, who is being attacked by feral, maybe zombie lions, who's decided that, okay, it's time to go. So far, so good on all fronts. I got to tell you, it's hard to do because I'm getting through all these stories, and then the pregnant lady in the grocery store. Alrighty, so the drug lord, I hated that story in the first issue. It is picked up so well. I didn't even know that this woman was pregnant in the first issue. But now she's got to, now she has to defend her grocery store. And that's just ridiculously entertaining. The family on the ship I found to be probably the most straightforward. Like, I've seen it in a zombie movie, so it wasn't anything new or amazing, but it's still well done. I like this book. I like Year Zero. So I had problems with it the first time I read it because I thought, wow, you got to dedicate a little bit more time to these, but you still find yourself so intrigued and so interested in what's going on. You just got to turn the page and find out what happens. Alrighty, so let's move on to Nocterra. This is Scott Snyder's new book, and it was a little bit okay. Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel. Alrighty, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Let's see how it goes. And so I start the book, and I'm like, and that's part of the problem. It took a while, I got to admit, and this is my fault. I'm going to put this on me. I'm not going to put this on the storyteller because it might not be his fault. But I got to admit, I was a little bit lost on this one because it's like, where were you in the big event? What happened with you? Where were you? But it never actually kind of explains what that big event was until you're a ways into the story. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do that, it's good to say, okay, what happens. Instead, it goes into a blackout here, and then wait, did you said 13 p.m. That doesn't exist. Are we okay? Wait, what's going on? Now we did a time jump. All right, so what's going on? What happened? What was the 13 p.m. about? So it challenges you to catch up. All right. And in all honesty, I did spend a lot of time going, well, is this going on? I don't want to guess about what's happening. Tell me what's happening. That way I can enjoy it. So, because it makes me anticipate, okay, well, if this is happening, then shouldn't that? Or if this is happening, then that would happen. And unfortunately, that's what this book does. Does it do it well? In all honesty, I still turned the page. I still kept going. It's interesting. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm going to say it's okay. It's good. It's good enough for me to pick up issue number 2 anyway, which I'm going to do. As far as issue number 1, it's got promise, but I know this is something everybody wants to say to Scott Snyder anyway, but dude, you need to tighten the story up a bit. You want to get stuff out there and make sure that everybody knows what's happening and where it's happening and why it's happening. So I got a new issue of SpiderMan. It's like issue number 62 or something like that, 63. And then I thought, you know what? I was doing this as I just want to catch up with him. But then I realized, oh, crap. Yeah, 61 was where he got the new suit. So I got 61 as well and read it. And okay, thank you. Let's see, Nick Spencer, Patrick Gleason. All righty. Both of them do an absolutely serviceable job. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more, gang. I liked more of the villain stuff here. I liked watching them do their little backroom deals. I like the fact that Kingpin is the mayor because it puts him in charge of the criminal as well as the legitimate world. And that, to me, they need to explore that. a lot more. We're talking about Boomerang. We're talking about Peter Parker and Kingpin and the crime lords there want to put a hit. They're talking about putting a hit on them and everything, or at least that's what you think. And it does a good job of telling the story of Peter Parker. It does a good job of letting us in on the characters. I just mentioned the redemption of Boomerang, and somebody's like, but he's a killer. Yeah, that happens a lot. For a little bit in the 90s, they were even trying to redeem Sabretooth, though, so maybe he could become an anti-hero. Punisher was too, you know. But look, here's the thing. It's absolutely fine. I enjoy it. I can understand if you don't. In all honesty, I gotta say, this is the okie dokie. Okie dokie is the greatest way and shortest review I could possibly give this book. This book is okie dokie. Okay, so I line these up from worst to best. What is the worst? I actually didn't have any really bad books, I guess. Spider-Man would probably be worst. But once again, it's not bad. It was okie dokie, you know, at the very least. I've got to go through them here. We got Spider-Man. Following that, oh, I like this book. See, this is a good book. It's a fun book. It was weaker than the other 4 issues, but I would go Shang Chi on that one, and then probably Nocterra, like I said. If it tightened up its story, told a little bit better, I would be more into that. And then I would have to go Year Zero, which I really like, and Suicide Squad, which I was very impressed with. Keep the price down, meaning don't make it a $6 book, and this is something I'd be willing to buy. It's a really good DC book, so there you go. I guess the winner of the video here is Suicide Squad. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to click like, share, subscribe. Ring the notification bell if you haven't done it already, making sure that all the notifications are set on all. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, I've got a Patreon and a Ko-Fi. Please go on over and drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. This is the way of trying to make a living, and you know, not very well right now. So anyway, I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.